Flagaday rebooted 210. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough.
Can't really see. Follow it.
I took my sister to see the Mona Lisa. Look. Now that we've done that and knocked the Mona Lisa off the bucket list, we're gonna go to the Bourse de Commerce. They've got a cloud situation going, so we got tickets to go walk through a little cloud. We were just here?
You were just here.
I was just here, yeah.
Yeah.
I came in January.
Yeah.
And now we're going back. Oh, but first, you need food.
I need food.
Gonna say it's good to get an annual membership probably because they're always changing things, but I'll wait for her on this 7th Street. How you doing? Good? That's what bourse means. It's like exchange or stock market. And that's Sun Eustache over there. That's the church that has the laser light show you're looking at. This is the nicest mister I think I've seen ever. That's cool.
We're blind. What it's like to live in France, and I'm an expert now, so.
So now you've seen the Bourse de Commerce. So my sister hasn't been here since 2019, which a lot has changed actually in Paris in the meantime, but also I'm just curious to hear some of her thoughts because she's had some observations that I thought were just really interesting and nice since she's been here. And nice just because it's nice to hear her words because she's so sweet. But what are the things that have stood out to you in the time that you've been here so far?
Something that I noticed is just terrace culture, like the social life stuff is like, obviously I've seen that before on previous trips, but I think we were also in more touristy areas, and this trip we're just doing more local type stuff. Don't look at me like that, then it's not a real conversation if you look at me like that.
Oh, it's better.
Yes. I like the social element of the terrace culture. I mean, like in the States, everything is, I feel, so digital and you have to drive to everything, but just how I'm just more aware of within my own culture, how the social life is just continuing to be like chipped away, and just how it is very much part of the culture here of, you're on your lunch break and then you get lunch with your friend or your coworker, or like there's space and time for that, and it is just naturally very sociable. I saw someone post that said something like, if you want to know what Paris is like right now, it's literally just the 90s. I was like, yeah, I mean, maybe they could mean fashion, but that's in the States as well right now. But like, every once in a while there's someone on their phone, there's like a businessman on his phone or something, but otherwise people are reading a book on the metro, or they're just talking to friends, or there's just so much clear like community friendship stuff happening. Mm-hmm. And that's very cool. But it also is making me think about how obviously French stereotype, which I have experienced very much, is very rude people and whatever else. But I'm noticing on this trip, because I'm letting you lead more so, because I get very lost in French. I can speak Spanish. I can get my way through Spanish and English, but I cannot get my way through French at all. So I'm making you lead on it. And I say bonjour when we walk in, and you do, but then you take the lead. And I think what I've noticed is I mean, A, people are just very receptive to you, and I think a little bit entertained by you. Like, they can see such a big personality that walks in, and so they're like, oh, interesting. But they're very warm towards you. And just walking along the street, you'll just chat with someone, you know, who has a dog, and everyone is very, very warm. And I think that's very consistent with, like, the terrace culture. I wonder if part of the thing, like, also because I live in San Diego, which is a very touristy area, and I get annoyed with tourists, even though I understand they're important for the economy and whatnot, and I want people to experience my cool city. But I get annoyed with tourists as well. And I feel like maybe in French, what I'm noticing is, like, in Spanish and in English, there's a similar greeting pattern. I think almost every single time you're going to say, hi, how are you? So you only need to know, like, hola, ¿cómo está? And then you can go, oh, I know, bien, ¿y tú? And you can at least get yourself started, where I think, I don't know French, but I think what happens is they say bonjour, and then they start a different, there's not like necessarily a consistent, sometimes they'll say ça va, but generally you walk into a store and they go, bonjour, what are you looking for today? Or, and I'm like, I don't know those words, you know, or like they ask something that is very like a relational driven question, but is not a consistent, after bonjour, you always say this, and that kind of eases you into it. And I think that is where, like, for me, not knowing French, I panic, because I can go bonjour, and then, oh, you didn't say ça va. I don't know, I have no idea what you said. And then then that's when I go, I'm so sorry, I don't speak French. Can you speak English? And then that's like, sure. But, like, you have to have much more of a conversational knowledge of French to actually get into that place where I think you would break down those walls to not be annoying, is my assumption.
Yeah, I think
where there's a lower barrier of entry in English and, like, Spanish. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you can start with, like, ¿cómo está? Bien, ¿y tú? Bien, do you speak English? And then they're kind of warmed up to you. And I think that's probably what you have to do in French culture as well. You just need that step to get them warmed up to you. But, like, it's much more of a leap to get to that spot.
So I think it's less of a leap, and I think it is just more of a cultural difference that the French are. So in English especially, everyone is very used to non-English speakers speaking English. So everyone makes an effort, because if you're in any major city, there are tons of people who English is not their first language. You're just used to every day running into those people. The French don't have that same click in their brain where they're like, if you don't speak French well, like, why are we speaking French? Is the attitude. So there's a big attitude difference that I can totally see coming across as rude. I've seen you walk in and also, like, not know for sure. I think there's that element of, like, they're just kind of waiting for you to admit that you don't speak French. And I think that if you can be like, bonjour, parlez-vous anglais, that works too. Right, so if you could just do like bonjour, and then they'll be like yes, and maybe they're not as warm, because there is a dance that happens in French that, like, warms somebody up, but it is much more complicated.
Right, but I can see that with you even, like you can do that dance, but and you do it quickly, which that's just your personality anyways in English as well.
Yeah, but it didn't always used to be that way. I think,
no, I know, but I think I can see how people will be like, they'll be polite with you at first in French, and then you'll say something and they kind of light up, you know, but like they're fine just being, oh, bonjour, you know, oh yes, this is my dog, you know, and then they move on, but then you say something extra that they, oh, okay, sure, I'll talk to you. Yeah. Which again, I think is that social culture that is just lost on English, non-French speakers because it's a difficult jump.
It was during just after COVID or during COVID that I made it my goal to make French service staff laugh. I was with Jess at a burger place and I'd made a joke and it did not land and they were not impressed with me and they walked away, and I was like, you know what? I'm cracking this nut. And it took me a couple of years, but after a while, like to the point that it was just a few months ago that I remembered that, and I was like, oh, I haven't even thought about that forever. And the reason is because even after I'd been here for, at that point, maybe 4 or 5 years, I spoke French. It wasn't obvious to me either how to make that interaction really pleasant, which is why I push back on the personality, because actually my personality could be a detriment.
Totally,
if I'm
100%.
big,
Totally,
gregarious,
100%,
whatever.
100%. You microdose the twinkle in your eye.
Yes.
In French, and I think they go, oh, you're interesting. Like, oh, you don't look like you might speak French, and you have a little bit of a to you, so I'm curious. You know.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's pleasant. I think they find it very pleasant when clearly a foreigner, especially an American, because the expectations are so low for Americans. When an American speaks French, and this is something that I have experienced my entire time here, even when I didn't know what the dance was, is that there's an element of like extra interest in an American who speaks French. Yeah. But it's again because they're so used to people not. There's a binary there where it's either you do or you don't. Right. Whereas in English, I feel like there's this middle ground where it's like you're trying.
There's a lot of people who are in between. Yeah. Lots of people in between.
Like 1 billion people in between. And so I think there's that recognition that it's like, you're trying, I'm going to meet you halfway. Yeah. The French don't do that. So, and that's a stereotype that's very true. Like, that used to happen to me all the time. You'd walk in and be like, je prends un baguette, s'il vous plaît. And they'd be like, un baguette? And you'd be like, une baguette? Ah oui. And you're like, I'm in a bakery. But like, meet me halfway here. And so that's a consistent complaint, but it's good that you're feeling like you're seeing the warmth. I think if you just take some time to appreciate it and observe, I think anybody can crack it.
Right. And I'm just being an observer a lot this trip, and I see a lot of warmth. Even though I don't understand what's happening, I can see a lot of warmth with your interactions and with each other's interactions. But again, I think we're also kind of a little bit off the beaten path in what we've been doing so far. And so it's a lot more of like, guards down, you didn't just deal with the stupid American who was yelling God knows what, over there, or the whomever doing whatever. So I think that helps. But
yeah, and I think also there's a generational shift happening. Younger French people are much more open. They speak English better.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's changing, and I do think Paris is actually one of the friendliest cities. Like, I feel very warm, very welcome here all the time, and I do think that. But the French do close off and do judge. Like, there's a step back that can happen. That's beaten into them in school. They're judging each other. Their teacher is judging them. So there's this cultural panopticon that happens where nobody wants to make a mistake, and so I think that it does take some work to get through that sometimes, but. And maybe it's the expectations change for what is friendly, because they're not going to come to your table and be like, "Hi, I'm Bob. I'm here to do here's my life story. All right, I'm going to write my name upside down on the table and blah blah blah." There's not that. So I do think that it's toned down, but what you get is usually, I would say, genuine. So
everyone feels genuine, and it's just it's mature, I guess. Like how people approach each other is just it's mature and respectful, and then it turns into very warm.
Yeah.
Engagements.
I don't know what the theory is here to what you're observing, but it might also be that once you develop the same spine that they have, French is a respect culture, and it's like part of the bonjour thing, and part of the reason that we have the rules around cheersing and that you bisou everybody when you walk into a room and everything else is because there's a requirement to acknowledge the humanity of everybody at the table before you can proceed.
Well, and that's why Americans don't do well here.
That might be why. So I think once you recognize, like, the whole point of this dance is to, like, let you know, I see you, I respect you, I deserve respect, and then you can move on from there. And if you don't start there, then you're off on the wrong foot.
Yeah. Yep, that makes sense.
Cool. Anyways, thoughts with Karen in the Bourse de Commerce.
Bourse de Commerce.
Yeah, that was very good.
Thank you.
Cool, let's go get lunch.
Your blood.
Welcome to Les Halles, the cultural center of Paris. She's done it all now. Yep. All right. Attempt number 2, and the line indicates they are open today. Shwee! Oh, it smells good. How do you like your wrap?
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Thanks, Rita. I should have gotten a selfie with Rita when we were hanging out. Last stop for today is a vintage store that looks at, oh no, that does leather. Let's see when why are they closed? It says they're open. Oh, they're closed until the 22nd of June.
Oh, I'll be gone by then.
Guess we'll just have to come back.
Scott, They've got vintage leather jacket and denim jackets, so like motorcycle jackets.
Oh,
and
the denim I want to see.
Yeah.
Well, I'll come back and check it out for you.
no, that's not what I wanted to
Oh no. Well, on that note, thanks to Jacquelyn Ann, today's patron producer. All my patrons for your support over the years. This is the last of the anniversary vlogs. No more characters from here, not to spoil it, but gotta be shaking things up. Tomorrow's the party to launch my book, and we'll figure it out after that. Thank you for watching, and see you bright and early one of these mornings sometime soon. And have a good summer.
Come here.